as Farafo rolls it in gently for the first 2 points. Just about a minute into this first round. Trying to pick apart the defense here. I mean, there it goes. Look at that. The pass gets them a numbers advantage, basically 2-on-2, but turning into actually, never mind, a shot here from Mamba. Taken right back for Chaos. Calls to deal with, less lanes cut off as that shot just goes for Dano. A big interception, a turnover there caused, and right into for the 7th point. Thanks for saying hi. Hope you're doing well. Off of that stun, Farafo and Chaos are doing quite well. Needless to say, it's a 3-point play, up by 10. And with as that shot goes out there with the team play, passing game, etc., etc. Going in for a save though. Talk about Dave. I just did, and there he is once again. Don't actually jinx it. Just like that. Dave providing the save, providing the pass. Almost a save by Mamba. Really, as a whole, Tint's defense was stellar. Now, last time we saw Tint hold that thought because there's a 3-point drop shot from Dano right outside the line. 9 matches now have been wins. And going for a good passing play though on Tint. It's Huzzah to Dave, and that's Huzzah with 3 Z's, mind you. And Chaos trying to do something just like that. There it goes, beautiful move. It was Dave trying to dive out at Mamba to stun him, but Mamba just found because of those long arms. You know, use your full reach as Huzzah. Huzzah with a nice, and if you have the time in the room, you know, you don't have to force the shot if the goalie's just going to commit to sticking in the goal. And speaking of, well, there's one more shot. 17-6 for Chaos. Absolutely everything. And then it translated into so many nice goals for them off great passing. But speaking of great passing, love it from Chaos. There's the Mamba assist. I must be informed. Keep me honest, keep me accurate on the casting end, as Mamba's gonna go for an accurate pass again. Cakester, 2 points. A pair of players trying to cut off that lane, but we'll concede the open goal maybe. Will it be hit? Oh, it is gorgeous on the shot from Guy. I like it. Working it up with the calm passes. I like it. Now there's the off-balance defense, but the pass there cut off very nice out of the bubble now at this point. And as this pass goes off, what's it gonna do? Gets the 2 from Mamba. So you see the defense, it did get back. Mamba's coming in. Hey Mamba, just one, don't worry. As he gets a disc, but Rad, David in for 2, and it's a 1-point match. Once again, a 2-goal lead, things like that. Guygasm trying for the pass. Oh, Huzzah may have been stunned at the time, but rebounded and found from White Dragon, and taking the lead for Tint here with about 2 minutes. Good grab there from Guygasm. We'll get the clear, so denying that one. 5 seconds left, going for a deepest of passes, and that shot taken out by Guy again, and there's the clear, and Dano will back that one out to Cakester. Cakester going up here to Dano McFabulous. There it is, the 2-on-1, just goes with a shot instead. And goes up by started this season, and boy has that changed. Like even at the beginning, as that good pass goes from Chaos there, Farafo to Mamba. And you can definitely see it paying off for a lot of teams here. Chaos, just a great example of it. There's again, just flawless execution. And dozens of more points over the course of a season. And over there though, talk about season, there's the well-seasoned veteran in Guygasm. We'll go as all teams involved looking for their stacks. And on the shot for Guy. Weird angle on the cams. Other end, but recovering, it's Cakester. 1 minute, 33 seconds left. This is almost identical. And then go in for a shot to put themselves up for Chaos. 3 points now. Mamba, big hit. Looks like just backing out some more. Dave holding it on to last possible second with that defense encroaching. And there's Huzzah with a huge shot there as well. So they're still going to be down by 1, but that at least brings it ever the more close. And Dave with one more hero flag, and the win for Tint. There is no team. Breaks the goal open. Hello everybody. Welcome to the match. VR Master League here Wednesday. Got several games here in a row for you. Just about anyway, over in Europe. Starting off with Team Gravity, their second week back here. We just saw them over the weekend going 2-0 in their return after about five or 6 weeks of absence. Came back a little rusty initially in the first few minutes of some of those matches, but they got better and better as time went on and, did what Team Gravity has done for multiple seasons and multiple years at this point. So now they're making their return here again in week 10. 8-2 record. And facing off against the Vibers, who currently sporting that 8-10 record. Looking to see if they can cause a bit of an upset here. Vibers are one of those teams around, have been coming through with some good wins and some good matches, some close losses as well, as we await the arrival of a couple more players for either team. Still just gonna hold tight here and pay attention to the score screen, I suppose, and see when they come through. Meanwhile, see Boop in the chat calling first loss for Phantoms today. They are having themselves a season, to say the least. 18-0. And indeed, Phantoms will be coming up right after this match against Team Gravity. If there's anyone that can give Phantoms a run for their money and potentially win out there, it's Team Gravity. They did it in preseason, winning the championship. And seeing if they can do it again here, but the difference now between preseason and Season 1, quite stark if you look at the grand scheme of things. You have just a lot of teams now really adjusting to the meta. Scores overall across the board, especially at the top level gold and master tier teams. You're seeing some lower scoring games, and that's just because the pacing has kind of developed differently. I would say more so in North America than in Europe. However, when you're talking about Team Gravity and Phantoms, those are both teams that do have a good mix, especially where you see Phantoms sometimes, as fast as they are, and same with Team Gravity, they also really do slow it down at times, just depending. So I'm kind of interested in seeing that a little bit later, but yeah, we shall see. It's a different scenario now. Phantoms really, they were impressive in the preseason, known as Backlash at the time. But I feel like, really, they're almost at another level these days. 18-0 is no joke. Their passing game has been stellar. And just the team play as a whole has been on kind of another level. So we'll see how that unfolds. Just listening to a bit of the player comms at the moment, they're kind of discussing where the missing players may or may not be. So hoping we see them soon. I mean, we've got one down for both of the teams right now, but so we'll have to see. Might be needing a late sub. Who knows? In any case, so welcome to the stream. There's Al Pacino joining. Wrong team at the moment, but he'll switch up in a sec. So Team Gravity will have their complete team here and ready. Meanwhile, for the Vibers, still waiting on Finn or a sub. Either or. But yeah, definitely interested in this matchup here. I think on Team Gravity side too, could definitely win out on the matches today. But again, there's also, as I mentioned, the rust factor. We'll see if that plays a role at all. I feel like the fundamentals were there. Definitely the team play, the things like the inclination to pass and look for those boosts. I mean, that wasn't gone for Team Gravity. That was all fully intact after their month and some weeks off. Only thing really was just the shots. Those were missing at times. Some of the passes, the execution weren't quite there for some of the time, but and actually, Viber's mentioning, forgetting here, that they do actually have a five-person roster. Pyro main potentially available, so maybe not a sub needed at all, just depending. But we do have About 9 more minutes left until the scheduled, well, until the 15-minute time, which doesn't really get reached all that often. It's only been, since preseason, a very small handful of times. Probably can count it on one hand that we've actually had to go past that 15-minute mark. So not a too frequent kind of thing. Usually someone gets a sub before then, or I think we had a couple times recently where we went above the 15 minutes, and that was just because of some casting delays because of multiple matches in a row and such. So we'll see. 72. Now that seems like a rather. Where's Simon? That seems like a high ping for Europe. That is. That's a fine ping for North America. But for Europe, I'm used to seeing everyone usually in the 20s and 30s, not in the 70s. So a little unusual there. Maybe not for Simon, though. I don't know. Yeah, Boop saying Simon lagging. I put, you didn't see it, but I put finger quotes there. But yes, definitely for Europe, that is indeed lagging. For me, that's about my average, I would say, most of the time when I'm playing. I have played a bit more recently, between the Quest port and I did even get a CV1, a PC match just the other day, just mixed scrim, things like that. Obviously played that Quest port, the Quest testing game with some of these European players a few days back. Maybe more than a few days, probably like 5 days ago, 6 days, something like that. With Boop, he was one of them, as well as Slin, Gecko, Gobshite, Irony Man. I'm probably forgetting someone in there. All I remember from that match was one, I got exhausted fast because that was my first. Pretty sure that was my first time playing, period. Since December, at least in a mix, in any kind of scrim situation. I also remember Boop caught fire and hit, I don't even know how many ridiculous 3-point shots in a row from every angle as that match started winding down towards the end. Yeah, it's true. We didn't play we were on different teams. But yeah, did get that one match in. I guess on that note, too, hopefully we'll see if they open up some more Quest invites to this week or next week, things like that. I mean, there's a lot of fun games going. I've been playing the last couple nights, Questport, and gotta say it feels very, very good. You know, just some expected bugs and things like that aside, being alpha. I mean, really, on the whole, it feels really, really nice. I'm definitely encouraged to play a lot more when Quest comes out. I'd be playing more just throughout the week if it weren't for the cast all the time, which I'm not complaining about whatsoever, but yeah. So I guess while we do wait here a little longer for the players to arrive, we still have another 6 minutes till that 15-minute timer's up, so I can pull up the schedule and just show everyone at home what we're dealing with here for today, which is to say quite a bit of matches. So, yeah, right after this, scheduled to start in about 20 minutes, depending on if this match goes to 2 or 3 rounds, could be a bit late on it, but we do have that team, Gravity, on their second match, facing Phantoms here. For Phantoms' first match of the week, scheduled to start in about 50 minutes from now. After that, it's going to be Vertigo versus Watchin' Weebs. Watchin' Weebs, one of the newer teams here in Europe, in VR Master League. That is, I couldn't tell you for sure, so I don't want to be wrong. If they did play, some of those players on Watching Weebs played in previous seasons, ESL or not, but newer here to VRML at least. And Watching Weebs had some great series versus Team Gecko last week. In fact, they played them 3 different times. 2 of them were just scheduled, and then they threw in a 3rd challenge match as well in between. It was super fun. All the matches, or I think 2 out of the 3 matches went to 3 rounds. And it was Watchin' Weebs, I do believe, taking that series as a whole. And then finishing off the European matches will be Phantoms versus Smash Dash. Until later on in the evening, where we have North American games, 6 Foot Over versus Milk, and then Instinct versus Wireless Jacks. And that will apparently be our schedule for the day. All right, that said, we do have Pyromane actually did join the game. So we do have the start coming up right now. Team Gravity versus Vibers. I didn't actually ping them, but I'm sure they know they can start. I'll just do it for posterity. But there we go. So teams will be starting here momentarily in our first European match of the day. Let's go.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
All right, so first joust underway. This is the second week back for Team Gravity after that hiatus. See what they're looking like off that first joust. They're going to get that disc, it looks like, and it's Al Pacino with it over to the side and spreading the floor nicely already off the bat here. So Pyromane, maybe not even expecting to play today, but he's in. So credit to him for showing up. Let's see if he's warmed up as he goes in the goal. You're going to have to be well warmed up anytime you're facing a Team Gravity offense, as we know very well. And going for a stun, it's Viatrex, does that very well as well. Going for the stun goalie and enabling the Simon to Lewis assisted goal. 2 points to start this one off.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
So again, for those joining us today, thanks for doing so. Whether it's now, in the VODs, or later on, either way. Appreciate you. As Lewis gets the shot just bouncing off, might get a self-rebound. Him and Simon both there. A side shot taken as he fades back, taking off the wedge. And again, positioning out here for Team Gravity. So they're going for that deep pass, trying to meet it halfway, but Viatrex unable to get it. So BK does receive this disc, looks for the pass over to the midline, and then the clear. But there's the stack already in the back from Team Gravity. You see the midliners just playing on the disc. Meanwhile, that stack that was initially on offense in the front line, well, gathering themselves to get back on defense on the other side. So just all over the floor, which is pretty much a constant for Team Gravity, and just over the months, over the years. That's kind of been what's impressed. I remember playing Team Gravity the very first time as Lewis goes in for a second shot here and gets another one, this time assisted by Simon. Actually, both of them assisted by Simon. But I remember the first time I played Team Gravity, which was to say years ago, than all the European teams in general. I remember just being taken so off guard with the speed of these teams. And even though they were different rosters at the time, for the most part, Viatrex is the only remaining member from that 2017-2018 era team. But even back in the day, just remembered all those teams that kind of shell-shocked a lot of the North Americans with how fast they were. And just as well, going in for another shot, actually, Viatrex assisted by Lewis, so getting some more goals here, 6 points. Just as well, remember certain other teams in North America being shell-shocked a little bit after some trash talk that had occurred in prior months. Not going to name names or anything, but memories is all I got to say. Of course, Team Gravity also did hand Eclipse, sort of. Maybe not in the current record books, but realistically speaking, they technically handed us our first defeat. Just saying. Now, anyway, over here, BK gets the disc, sends it off to Emil. And Emil takes it back, goes to the two-man game, and BK. That was a nice series of passing plays just back and forth between Vibers, enabling this goal. 6-2 now. Talk on Thursday saying, we talking trash talk? I'm talking very old trash talk from years ago. Not from me, from other players. Like I said, not going to name names. It was just going down memory lane a little bit. But Al Pacino on the other side here to the mid, taken by Simon. Simon has that wedge pass. He also has Alp still waiting on the other side. And Al Pacino rolling up here, up high. And Lewis taking it up from the bottom. And Simon. So again, good passing from Team Gravity. That's 8-2 on the scoreboard. And good stuff. Yeah.
11, 10, 9,
So as
7,
Team Gravity goes up on defense here, it'll be lining up for Vibers in the tunnel. See what they roll out with on the offensive stack, offensive joust rather. Pyromane, the quick pass, that's going to be intercepted rather easily by Team Gravity. It's nailed by Al Pacino from deep. So that's definitely a good hit for him.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
And Taco on Thursday asking if I saw the message from the Lin guy. I did. I may have forgotten to reply, however. You should see my inbox over the last few days. Much more busy than usual for some reason. Over here, though, Viatrex goes bottom after the little raspberry in the mic. And Lewis over to the opposite side as Al Pacino gets over to Viatrex. Viatrex gets the shot and hits it.
Get to your launchers. 12, 11.
So Viatrex here getting on the scoreboard, I think for the second time. Yeah, it's 4 points for him, but you can see already just 6 minutes in, you got all these assists just piling up for Team Gravity. Not the surprise there whatsoever. Vibers trying to get some on the board as well, but I mean, just the speed, knocking out of there actually Emil. And I am noting here, so Emil has changed his name back. Last week he was Lime for a few days. Took some of us casters a little bit of time to catch on that it was Emil spelt backwards, but apparently he's back. Unless that was just an alt he was rolling with. In any case, Al Pacino, a soft pass trying to get there in the short range assignment, but snagged out by the Vibers. Now BK getting a clear. On the other side, looks like Ares was there, but unstacked. Therefore, the speed of Team Gravity kind of playing a part, and Viatrex collects up here at the top ramp. And we'll go for that pass here to the bottom corner near that wedge. Going for that passing play as he fades back. Simon with a one-on-one gets a shot, and look at that. Absolute precision. He was very clearly aiming for that top corner with a purpose, and just a beautiful hit to paint the corner and avoid the hands of the defender. So a great shot. Taco saying, no alt, he just regretted the name change because we tease him about it. Well, okay, fair enough. I had no problems with a lime. Goes great with coconuts. But just trying to shake it up here for Team Gravity with one more clear. There's a stack coming in with some speed, and the reverse dunk by Lewis just because he could. 17-2 with 3 minutes remaining here in the first round. And for those joining us, I see another 4 or 5 people popping in the last couple minutes. It was a little bit of a late start there, waiting on some players. I think Pyromane here wasn't intending on playing today, but stepped in as the 5th rostered member of Vibers at the last second and was able to play here. So good stuff from him as a shot just barely missing, and going to the wedge, recovered by BK. So Simon also unable to recollect, and resulting in the rebound for Vibers and a chance at offense again. Fallen behind here to the always strong Team Gravity. And with that being said, it's going to be Lewis showing some of that defensive strength. There's the stack, the speed, and the shot. 20-2. And you can see there the turnover, and instantaneously going to the other side, and it seems like in no time at all, Team Gravity just finds those stacks and finds the goals. So Vibers, they need to score here, and more than anything, let Team Gravity make Team Gravity not score, because if we do get a turnover and a score, that will be a potential mercy at play. So let's see. Simon can't find the clear. BK contesting, but being stunned by Simon. Taken out here by Lewis now. Lewis in a big old pileup, recognizing the defender in that tunnel, so does a good job to get the clear out the mid lane, just evading that, and that one will roll very close as the stacks come in. Lewis and Viatrex. Everyone for the defense here in Vibers returning, and Lewis just being contested. Holding on to it a little too long, perhaps, as the clear goes out. So with about a minute, 10 seconds remaining, a open goal maybe, getting the wedge, but just couldn't get it through that slice of a shot. So Al Pacino sends it over to Simon, but missing the grab again here. So now Team Gravity, Lewis with the disc, going for that soft clear through that tunnel. And back into the other side, there's a stack once again. They're always ready, it seems like. And Al Pacino does end it with a 2. gently collects it off the backboard and puts that one home. So 22-2 for the first round. Yeet wins. Okay, fair enough. So, a strong first round from Team Gravity here as we make our way to the highlight screen and just, again, see and observe some of that passing play that always brings them so much success as a collective. And yeah, it was well, leading at 8 points. Al Pacino, 1 assist, 1 stun. Simon with 4 points, 2 assists, 1 save, 1 steal, 9 stuns. Very nice stat line for him. Lewis with 6 points, 4 assists, and Viatrex 4 points, 1 assist, 10 stuns. We have on Viber's side, it was the lone 2 points for BK, as well as 1 steal, 6 stuns. Emil putting through 1 assist, 1 steal, 7 stuns. Ares with 1 save, 4 stuns. And Pyromane with 2 stuns. But what it comes down to, just as is usually the case, possession time and shots taken for Team Gravity. Just 62% of the possession time in that first round, 15 shots. That's 83% of all shots taken. And on those shots, 8 assists. So really just putting it together again and rolling on into the second round. Vibers launching and getting their first, actually, so nice speed. Emil, and there's the stack also, so a big number situation. However, they passes it slightly off and the precision. Nonetheless, they'll still have some time. That defense from Team Gravity still not being all back in the goal until just now, so a missed opportunity there for Vibers, unfortunately. Unable to convert on some shots as they roll out here and the boost from Team Gravity. An overshoot, but they'll have a lot of time as well to score. So Viatrex, just missing that one and not unhappy about it.
It's him, the one and only. Intercepted.
So a little bit of teasing going on from these two teams as Viatrex just missing one of those shots there, but that's okay. I'm sure Team Gravity will be fine here as they do recollect, as has been the case. So rebound, eventually now Al Pacino, a chance here to Viatrex. One more pass to Simon and an extra pass and a purposeful dink it looked like. So a little bit of maybe BM from Lewis. Maybe at least we'll see the replay. But it looked like maybe, Viatrex, not purposeful ding. Lewis maybe a more purposeful one. Either way, they're going to get the score. 2 points on the board. And, yeah, you could hear teams having a little bit of a laugh over it. And those are the kind of things, you know, when you take a month-plus break, that will kind of happen. Those dings, those misses on shots like that. Like, mechanically, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get it back. Simon gets the nice interception, diving out on that one from down below, going into the other side of the goal, and overshooting it, however. So, taken back by Lewis. Works it around the back and going for the pass down to Simon there. Viatrex, rather. Viatrex over to Alp. And Alp trying to gently pass it up to Simon up above, but he had already cut. So losing the disc there, and maybe an advantageous opportunity for Vibers, but unable to buy that open goal. So a couple of, you know, pretty good opportunities on the goals that Vibers weren't able to convert on, and those are the ones you wish you can get back, definitely, because Team Gravity otherwise will definitely get back fast and punish on the other end. So they're trying to do that just right now, as it's going to turn into, looks like, well, a 1-on-3, but he's going to go for it and just overshooting that off the top of the goal. Al Pacino still on the other side, so good positioning to buy Team Gravity that rebound, as is, again, often the case, and going for the perfectly placed shots, Viatrex. So won't miss that one. But yeah, as I said, sometimes the mechanics will take a little bit of time to get back. But you know, I think a lot of the instinctual stuff, the positioning and the passing, you know, that stuff is definitely stuck through. So Lewis gets the interception here off of that defensive rollout. Emil taking this back for Vibers, sending a nice one, quickly slinging it as Pyromane. So that was a really nicely placed pass. However, it's intercepted again by Team Gravity. So Simon with that disc, there's a cutting. Lewis just past his grasp, so Pyromane does send it out on the clear. Into the pocket, though, rebounded by Simon. And again, this spread out on the floor as Team Gravity goes back on the offense. Taco mentioning Lewis playing maybe slow or relaxed. Well, Lewis here, he's going to go for a, well, yeah, slow, relaxed pass that just gets tapped back out, but he still gets the disc right back. This time trying to find a nice one over, and oh no, Simon, you should be on toxic units. Revive that team. Have Simon join it. With a little bit of styling now at this point for Team Gravity, just hanging on to it for an extra second. That was a really nice pass, that being said, from the backboard over to Simon. But Pyromane goes out for the rollout here, and Team Gravity. Maybe another turnover being caused just off of that fast defense, and a shot indeed, so 9 points. So Team Gravity starting to roll again. Again, had Vibers. They've had some opportunities at the shots. I mean, it could be a very different game at the moment. Potentially 9-5. Had some of those number situations and that open goal 3 earlier been made, but it's tough. Team Gravity is not a team that really gives most teams a lot to work with when it comes to those open goals. That one will be just an open shot for Simon, or for Lewis rather, assisted by Simon.
Nice shot.
But yeah, definitely not a knock on the Vibers. There's very few teams in the league and over the years who can punish Team Gravity all too hard. So Vibers have been playing quite well over the course of this season as it's gone on, and adding Finn to the roster around week 4 or so. Emil, there's a shot, and that'll go very nicely off the rollout. And getting the first 2 points for Vibers in the second round here, about halfway through, a little over now. So very nice. And there's the numbers advantage and the open goal that they wanted to take advantage of, and they did that time. So Viatrex now over to Simon. Simon quickly rolling out, and Lewis, just misses on that shot. Maybe a self-rebound. Actually, no, Al Pacino has a disc. Hands it off to Viatrex just nearby, and back to the shoulder to Lewis. So Lewis going in for another passing play, and that works out very nicely. So the Lewis to Simon connection, still as strong as ever. I mean, they've had a multitude of assists to each other. I mean, look, 5 for Lewis, 4 for Simon. So if you can't get the shots, well, hey, just maybe make the passes, let someone else with a hotter hand do it. And that's what they did. So 14 points here for Gravity. That's a very deep shot being taken. Just about 3/4 court, full court. Simon the takeover and the pass to the tunnel. Via with the disc now as Aries is going to approach on the other end on the defense, bothering him a bit, and nicely led pass. That was a very quick one to that quick player, Simon. Now Simon going to walk it in himself and going for some more stees. Viatrex, though, puts it back off the rebound. I'm pretty positive that was a purposeful shot. He wasn't going for the direct goal. He was trying to go for this one right off that top corner to ricochet that one in. We see players going for that on rare occasion. It's definitely a shot that's makeable, but Simon just kind of playing around at the moment, and his team can't afford to. So will be Emil taking a shot here off the top ceiling, retrieved by Emil again. 3 different players in goal, but Emil's going to take it anyway, and it does pay off for the second goal for Emil and for Vibers. So pretty bold, but again, pays off. Boop with some comments that I won't disagree with, but also won't. I also won't repeat. I don't know. Simon's one of those players. He definitely loves going for the stees and for the highlight plays. That's pretty much been a constant, even against the teams. Even against teams like Phantoms / Backlash in preseason. He goes for them. He kind of reminds me, he'd be a perfect fit over on Team Joker, to be quite honest. Because Team Joker is very similar against every single team Team Joker plays over in North America. They also, as a entire collective, go for those kind of steezy plays and hot dogging, and, the piggyback, the trains, the awkward shots. They shoot on goalies all the time. I mean, Yeah, he'd be a perfect fit over there, honestly. But Al Pacino rolling in for a pass to Viatrex. Viatrex going for the stun on the goalie. Instead, Al Pacino takes it away and sends it back to Via. Via from that bottom corner, and 18-4. Viatrex getting the score off the Al Pacino's assist. So minute 15 left in this one. The next match between Team Gravity and the Phantoms going to start directly after this one, I think. Wait, actually, no. That's hold on. Let me make sure. I don't want to be inaccurate, but it's starting soon. And it's okay. So it's actually Vertigo and Watching Weaves, and then Team Gravity and Phantoms scheduled after that. So be on the lookout. But Team Gravity here about to convert on this win in 2 rounds, the sweep. And that shot, pretty close, actually. Almost rolled into the goal. Players unhappy about that. Very close indeed as it goes for a clear. And up there, it's Viatrex with that deep shot going corner. And also very close, but taken out by Emil. So picks it off, sends it through. And maybe a chance for one more. A goal on the other end as that one gets slung into the bubble. So bottom collected by Via. So over here, taken back on the bottom ramp, Al Pacino, and doesn't make the shot, but this will conclude this series with one more self-goal as a round expires.
Good game, that was amazing.
And 18-4 in this round 2. All right, so take a look at the stats there for you, and let me just verify. Okay, no, so I was wrong twice. Wow. It is Phantoms and Team Gravity next. I'm kind of a doofus, aren't I? Anyway, whatever. Welcome to the stream. Phantoms Team Gravity coming up right next, so there's the stats for you. I think we're going to probably start right away, so I'm just going to go to a very, very quick intermission just to switch up the names and the overlays and all that good stuff. So be right back with the next match. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to VR Master League. And boy, am I excited right now because, well, Team Gravity just following that win off the Vibers, going into, well, no doubt, going to be a huge test for who? That's the question, isn't it? Both teams. You see, Phantoms 18-0. They've been rolling here in Season 1. Team Gravity. They're a team that just after that break for 5-6 weeks, well, they're back. And if there is a team that can take Phantoms to their absolute limit here in the league, it's going to be Team Gravity. So I'm really excited for this one. Thank you, everyone for joining us today for this matchup. We'll see, will Phantoms retain and maintain their win streak? To be determined, but the shot first from Phantoms looking good to start. So Nillywick assisted from Sundance, and there's the first two. We already had Boop calling it earlier that this would be their first loss. We see same thing kind of being said here from Taco. So yeah, this is going to be a very, very intriguing matchup without a doubt. See Infiltrate in there. Hello, how you doing? Welcome to the match. I'm glad to have you. Turnover going here. Phantoms taking it over. Torin. Now, I mentioned this also towards the beginning of the first stream earlier on in the day as Nillywick takes a very deep shot. Oh, what a big hit. Oh, that's a huge shot from Nillywick and absolutely gorgeous. There was defense nearby. He was fading backwards. He had to turn around and somehow get that through, and he did. What a nice shot. Can't say it enough. Nillywick definitely. He's been hitting some of these really nice backboarded three-point shots over the weeks as well. Just a very soft touch for him. Last week, just the same. Maddie, if I remember correctly, he was also on fire from way deep out there. So between the two of them, doing some big damage from way deep. And right there, good steal, and they'll get a three-point rebuttal. So there it goes. Team Gravity and Al Pacino puts it right back within 2 points. So nice shot, just the same. See Furcar hopping in here. Welcome as well to the stream. Now, Furcar, you were there yesterday in that big match. I don't know if I want to call it an upset, but one of the better matches, best matches of the season, as that shot just off, rebounded by Simon. Beautiful from Simon as well. 1 point lead. He got that shield, quick reflexes on Nillywick, and still had the wherewithal to gather the disc and shoot it right through for the three. That was a good series of plays from Simon all the way. Really playing up to the level of any player in this league, turning it up and getting that shot. So right back at him. But yeah, mentioning Faircar was in that game yesterday. It was super hype between Tint and Chaos. We're about to see maybe if this one will be just the same. People in there, rooting for the quote-unquote underdog in Team Gravity, and I say that in their preseason champions. But just in terms of Season 1, as that shot goes through for Viatrex, 9-5. And I use the term underdog loosely. Don't get me wrong. We're talking the preseason champions. We're talking multi-time finalists as a team. And yeah, underdog by record only. Either team, huge potential to win this one. And Phantoms, and I know from experience too, I mean, the longer you maintain a streak, at least for most people, I'm not saying it is for Phantoms, but for most people, the longer you maintain one of those streaks, the more stressful it gets over time, where it's just everyone wants you to lose. Everyone expects you to lose. That's just the reality of any team in any sport. Any time that they get those big streaks going, people want to see the Titans fall. And at the moment, they're starting to fall behind, but a good goal there from Nilly, assisted by Sundance, will help the case very much. So back to a 2-point game. Team Gravity was starting to catch fire, though. Had 2 or 3 goals in a row. But that will just put it right back to a close game. 6 minutes left. Plenty of time to burn here in this first round.
Teams have cleared the launchers. Orange clears it out.
So over on the other end, being collected by no one. The overshoots. All the players kind of going for each other almost instead of the disc. But good positioning here. Al Pacino backs it out. And once again, backs it out yet again. So I think I got away from it earlier, but what I was mentioning too was just both of these teams are very unique in a sense. Oh, it was an anchor shot taken by Simon on a much bothered goalie over there on the goal. Not sure who stunned him out. hard for me to see on my replay there, but beautiful job from Team Gravity. But as I was mentioning, both these teams are kind of interesting in that they're so incredibly fast, but they both really know how to slow it down. I mean, in terms of the passing play and the slow play, both Team Gravity and Phantoms especially in Season 1, without a doubt would be top teams in North America too, and would actually be able to meet that same kind of meta. I know North American teams typically play slower as a whole by a bit, and they do prioritize a really slow play, but despite how quick Gravity and Phantoms are, they both really do play that passing game beautifully when they need to and when they want to. And you're seeing a lot of it here. I mean, you know, not a lot of excessive like clears and boosts. I mean, both of these teams at the moment, end to end, just looking to play that defense, looking to set their offense. But so far, it's what it has resulted in is an awful lot of open goals for Team Gravity. Playing some fantastic defense, causing the turnovers, and this must be their maybe fourth open goal, I want to say, fifth. I mean, they've had a couple of open threes off turnovers and then some shots on stun goalies. I mean, really a lot of Team Gravity's damage right now being dealt purely based off these goals being available for the shot. So let's see if Phantoms can make an adjustment. They are a team who they've proven, because again, over the course of Season 1, Phantoms, even though they have been really rolling hard with that 18-0 record, there have been a handful of games that they've been contested in some individual rounds where they actually were behind or it was a close game. But as we see a three-point shot made by Torin, very timely, and they needed that one to stop a little bit of that bleeding. And right back to a 4-point game. But we've seen Phantoms they do make those adjustments. They know how to when they fall behind, and then it seems like in the last few minutes, without fail, of these rounds where they're behind, they somehow just turn it around. You know, they start tightening up the loose ends, and they'll come back and win. But the question is here, can they do that against Team Gravity with 3:20 left in round 1? Or will we be looking at round 2 and a potential sweep or a 3-round series? Some players in there earlier, you know, again, calling the defeat here for Phantoms. But we'll see. At the moment, they're behind by 4, 3 minutes left, and the clear going through. Some good leeches there. Al Pacino gets a leech, gets a stun. Very nicely done. And there's everyone else arriving just about a second later, but recollected by Sundance. So he'll take it up top from the cloud, being pressured fairly hard here by the midliners. But now getting loose, so that's going to buy some numbers, but Viatrex, big steal. That could have been a good look for the Phantoms. But instead, it's one of those open goals again for Team Gravity. Just so much quicker to the disc tonight. And I'm sure, no small part due to some brawling in the back line from Gravity's other players. Viatrex especially is very frequently someone who will go for those stuns in the midline and try to deny stacks and just really be a complete pest on defense. So I'm sure a lot of these open goals too, just enabled by that backline brawling as a flyby punch does get sent through. Sundance here, and Phantoms are down by 6 with 2 minutes remaining in this first round between these two titanic teams in the European scene. Simon getting the disc, clearing it through, but taken right back by Torin. So Torin going for the pass, and there's the boosted players going through, getting broken up a little bit. So as a result, we'll lose a disc to Team Gravity again. So again with some of these stacks coming in quickly. This time Phantoms are able to get there first, but the defense approaching from behind, not too far behind. And Nillywick receiving this pass now over on the other end. They have numbers maybe unfolding, the quick succession of passes, but Sundance anchoring on the nest, so maybe a light miscommunication from Phantoms. But a great grab from Sundance. Didn't even look like he was looking, just kind of caught it as he was flying right through that mid area. Will be turned over into the hands of Team Gravity again. 1 minute left, so Phantoms really in a kind of emergency mode here in round 1 if they want to come back. But dancing all around Simon, so there's his jukes. I mentioned earlier in that last match. Doesn't really matter which team he's playing against. He'll do moves like that all the time. And going for the shot, and look at that. Phantoms here with a 3. Nillywick kind of ending it the same way that he started earlier on with that backboard play from almost the identical spots. Nillywick is so good at those. So it's a 3-point game. Phantoms need to play some tight defense here, cause a turnover, and they'll still have a chance maybe to force this OT. Right now, 26 seconds remaining. We know Phantoms are very good at the speed and at the defense. So there's a quick stack, and they're going to get the disc back. So still opportunity here as Phantoms go for that pass. Oh, but a very near miss will result in another turnover. Phantoms, that window's starting to close in this first round. They'll get the disc back. They need to go for a quick clear and boost at this point. Go to the other end, but deep in the goal is one player there for Team Gravity. So as they come through, the secondary stack, not a thing, and not able to get the disc off the overshoot. So Team Gravity in round 1 with the 16-13 narrow victory. And Phantoms maybe starting to bleed, showing that they can bleed indeed. It's a very infrequent thing, but not necessarily a surprise to see, and just knowing the level of play here from Team Gravity historically. So again, Phantoms, see if they can come back. They've done this before, but usually within the context of the round that they're behind in, usually they're able to come back and just win the round anyways when they've gotten behind in the past. At this point, though, they weren't able to. Almost, but they weren't. It's just Team Gravity straight up taking a round from Phantoms. So how about that? This is some big momentum now going for Team Gravity, and you just got to hope for them that they keep their concentration, keep their focus, keep playing with the same level of intensity, capitalizing on every open goal. They're getting back so quickly on defense. Off of some good defense, I should say. And yeah, just strong game. I mean, look at that. Very almost equal effort offensively from Simon Lewis, or Simon Alpacino and Viatrex. 5 points, 6 points, 2 assists. Lewis with the 12 stuns there. Then for Phantoms, 10 points for Nillywick, 3 for Torin, 4 assists for Sundance. But they're going to need some more of that in this second round if they want to stave off their first defeat. So second round underway here, taken by Torin, looking for the passes. What's gonna happen? I don't want a commentator's curse anything, so I'm just not gonna say it. But some stuns coming out. Simon, the deep shot will be offline. Up here though, Al Pacino, great recognition on the pass over to Simon. Fantastic play. Out there, getting rid of it at the last minute. I mean, he was right at the inner edge, maybe 6 meters out. Could have taken a shot, but it's always a risky thing when you're talking about, the level of play here, the goalkeeping. Would have been a risk taking it. So what did he do? He found the pass to the shoulder as that stack came in and clobbered him, and it enabled Simon to whirl in for the points. So that was just fantastic teamwork from Team Gravity. Always the kind of thing you love to see. Nillywick, though, he'll love to see the 3. That is a big hit, and maybe a very preventable shot there going in for Team Gravity, against Team Gravity, so they're not going to like that one, but nonetheless, Phantoms will take it, and Team Gravity going on the offense here, first time in round 2. Don't count Phantoms out yet. That would be very likely a big mistake, just again, given the historical play and the record this season. That said, you got to know that they're maybe going to feel the pressure here as that shot does go off, but rebounded, and a 3 goes in for Sundance. 6-2, Phantoms. Going to the chat real quick. Also see Zux hopping in. Hello. Also, Boop, a while ago saying Phantoms have gotten some bad habits because of teams they've been playing and not scrimming. Said you think that they're the better team, but just need to get back into it. And there might be a little truth to that, but I don't know. See, what I've observed with Phantoms as they take another 3, as I said, don't count them out. 9-2 for Phantoms. But, oh no, I accidentally refreshed my Twitch chat too, so I missed the rest of the comments I was going to get to. Anyway, that's all right. But nonetheless, I do notice with Phantoms, and I said this last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, in some of their matches, Phantoms were definitely struggling to make their 3-point shots. They were missing a lot of 3-point shots at the time. But they were making up for it because their positioning was super good. Like, they were getting so many rebounds, and then they were looking for the extra passes. That was really the one and only weakness I was seeing from Phantoms that was kind of, I guess, obvious, was the 3-point shots. But since I made that comment a couple weeks ago, last week they were red hot from 3. They were making absolutely everything from 3-point land. And so far today, it's been the same case. They've been making almost everything from three-point land. Getting the stun in two-point land. It's Torin. So right back again. And here we go. Collected off the boost. It's Lewis with no time to spare. Slinked it into the mid lane where it's taken by Team Gravity here via Trex. Via Trex has Simon. Opposite side. They're going to space out, fan out on the offense. There's the positioning. That's also so good from Team Gravity. And going for a shot on the goal. Almost went in. That could have been another one of those risky, but ultimately good goals had, but unable to convert. So again, off of some taps, Simon missing that one. So, the momentum starting to shift. Definitely the rhythm a little bit off kilter for Team Gravity. Taking some bold shots and missing some goals that they would otherwise make 95% of the time. So off it goes to the back line, taken here, and a 3 again! Phantoms Sundance up by 10. So the rebuttal from Phantoms after that first round maybe came a little bit later than I expected. Unable to come back in that first. But boy, have they started off red hot in round 2. So got to give them full credit. And that's just the rhythm of Echo Arena. It'll happen. The question is, can Team Gravity do the same thing that Phantoms have done and start adjusting, start making up for these errors and just looking for the fundamental plays like that? Very nice shot off a good pass. And just the one-on-one versus the goalie. That's about the best possible shot you can ask for. That isn't just a wide open goal. I mean, those one-on-ones, good as quality as anything, especially when you're approaching just head-on like that. So 4 points now on the board for Team Gravity as it goes off into the other side. Here into the orange bubble and out back again. So Simon collects it. Is going to look for maybe back pass potentially to the stunned players now. Stacked players who do get stunned by Nilly. So very well done, enabling his teammates to get there first perhaps. Al Pacino still speedily right on their tail, but Nillywick gets a disc. A nice pass over to the side wall, or to the bow tie rather. And then back to Nilly. Nilly getting stunned, and that's a very timely one from Simon because Nilly has hit a couple shots from this exact spot on those goals from 3. So Good brawling here. There's Nilly again, though. That lane going to be open for the pass. Sundance finishes the shot. Back up to 10-point lead here for Phantoms. Zuck saying Gravity handing them open 3s in this second round. Yeah, it is basically an inverse because in round 1 it was really Phantoms who were giving up a lot of open shots. A lot of it was just because of Team Gravity having some nice defense and just faster stacks. And yeah, that was what got Team Gravity the advantage in round 1. A lot of open goals, a few open 3s, a lot of open 2s. But complete reversal of fortune here. And going for a winding kind of a hesitation shot from Nilly. Didn't pay off the first time, but the second time it did. A nice tap down. Nillywick gets the recovery and the goal. 16-4. Is this a huge statement round for Phantoms or what? 16-4. Now matching the scoring total of Team Gravity from round 1. It was 16-13 in that first round. Phantoms 16 points here in the second, and they still have 3.5 remaining. So still 1/3 of the game to go. They've held Team Gravity to only 4 points. They might have themselves another 3-point shot lined up, but very timely from Lewis, denying the goal. But, oh no, Sundance, 3 points from the outer edge, 9 meters out, and 19-4. So we went from a 16-13 first round loss for Phantoms to what might be a mercy in round 2. What an incredible turnaround for the Phantoms. So might be a little early to say, but I mean we're definitely about to eye that round 3, it would seem, and couldn't ask for anything better or less, I guess, unexpected. Not unexpected for me. I mean, you know what these teams have done. They've had their battles over the months, over the years, and I mean, yeah. Phantoms rolling with an 18-0 record. Team Gravity coming in 9-2. So Lewis gets the disc down below. Just gonna kind of play it patiently. Can't really afford to, but at the same time, I know they're not going to want to get mercy, so they're just going to try and find the best quality looks like that. Al Pacino squeezes it right through the fingertips of the defense, just barely for a 3. So 19-7 as we continue to wind down this round.
4, 3, 2, 1. Teams entering the
So now Sundance going to Maddie. Torin over to Nilly. Nilly with an open 3 from the left side. Name a more iconic duo, or I guess trio, technically speaking. Nilly has been just absolute money
7, 6,
from this area.
4, 3.
Taco on Thursday asking what happened. Phantoms.
The round has begun.
Phantoms happened. Again, we've seen this in prior games from Phantoms when they've gotten down a few times in individual rounds, but they always seem to bounce back. They seem to make some great adjustments. And yeah, they're just getting the benefit of all these shots, and especially the open goals. So, I mean, some of it also Team Gravity just not quite as quick on their feet or quick on their hands on those stacks as they were in round 1. So a lot of these open 3-pointers just being scored on over and over again, not buying them the opportunities they want. And there you go again, Nilly Wick. He's been hot, but Simon, the good grab there. Simon and Lewis on that stack, that is, as a pass goes over to up high. Nobody, actually. Be taken right back by Torin.
Catches the enemy. Seconds remaining.
So 22 seconds left. We are most definitely going to that third round to determine the fate of that lossless record for Phantoms. Have not lost the series yet in Season 1 in 18 tries. But let's see what happens here. Team Gravity, one more attempt. Will be off and clearing it out now, and that will conclude round 2 with a just incredible comeback game for Phantoms in terms of that differential. I mean, yeah. Holding Team Gravity to 7 points. Meanwhile, 22 for Phantoms. And off an incredibly precise shooting. I mean, a lot of open goals, yes. But just the same. I mean, high percentage shots. They barely missed in that entire round. And definitely a far cry from what I mentioned a couple weeks ago, where Phantoms were struggling a bit with their 3-point hits. Not the case anymore. They have really tightened that up. And just look at that turnaround. So again, as is often the case with these high-level teams, the real question is, how do you adjust? How do you use these 1-minute intermissions between the rounds to kind of collect your thoughts, take a drink, calm down, and figure out the game plan? Because obviously there was a lot of disarray there for Team Gravity. And yeah, it's kind of hard to say as well just how much of it was Phantoms adjusting, how much of it was Team Gravity also just kind of maybe getting a little bit loose on the focus there after a successful first round.
12, 11, 10.
Either or, though. That's what you kind of get from these high-level games. It's what they produce. So the third round about to be underway now. And this is for, again, for the record. But today, either it continues in what will be Phantom's most impressive win perhaps so far in the season, or it will be their first defeat. A good save from Lewis will get them exactly what they wanted to start this off. And as always, those kind of saves, those big plays like that, especially to open up a round, can definitely be momentum builders. However, this shot narrowly missing, so missed opportunity. Will it cost them down the line? We'll see. It's early on, but you know, with this kind of a play, it's just every single goal, especially the open ones, are going to count, because you saw Phantoms in round 2. They took advantage of every single open goal just about. So it's going to be tough because you're not going to get a lot of those opportunities against this team. So there goes Nillywick with a quickest of slings over to the top corner there by the mid area. Viatrex gets the disc back, hands it off to Lewis slowly, and then right back to Simon. Some precision passing at play, and for Team Gravity, that's exactly what they need to do here, is get back to the team play. But Phantoms causing an awful lot of discomfort with some midline defense. There goes the clears. and recovered by Gravity. And they'll back it out. Oh no, an open goal, self-goal from Simon. Oh dear, that is the antithesis of what they wanted. And it's tough because they had the back liner. He was going to be in the goal for the recovery, but it looked like he took a bounce. Took a bit of a bad bounce or a missed grab or something like that on the Geo, and that's what enabled the goal. So that is a very unfortunate thing. However, there's still a lot of time left. I mean, it's only a three-pointer. Still 8 minutes. The biggest factor in that entire play is just how it affects the mental game. That's the question. You have a lot of time for it to just play it cool and not even bother. It doesn't matter. And if they approach it with that mindset, they should be fine. But it's one of those plays where, in terms of the emotional context of that match, is that shot just misses. The emotional context, it can have a much greater effect than just the 3 points they conceded. So we'll see if they can come back, and it looks like they absolutely will. There you go for Lewis. Nice boost into the shot on the open goal. 3-3, and just like that, all the mistakes are undone. You can breathe. Treat it like it's 0-0 again. You still have 7:30 remaining. Not a problem. So, some good defense again being played, but Phantoms do get the takeaway. Might have some numbers potentially as it goes into a 2-on-2 to make that a 1-on-1. Never mind. The defense does get back now into the bubble, so they'll back it out. And Phantoms on the offensive line. So Sundance here with the disc up on the cloud and going to the bow tie. You can see Viatrex playing right up top. Right outside the 2-point area, which he does quite frequently. Sundance rolling in from the midline. More great passing. Fantastic from Phantoms. And Sundance juking. He didn't like his look, so what did he do? He backed it out a bit and played it patiently. So I really, really like that discipline here. Look at this. Fantastic from Phantoms. And they'll get the 2 because of it. That was just a absolute clinic in patience and passing. You know, nothing there too difficult or thrown too hard. It was just timely pass to timely pass, and it got them the nice goal. And that is what I really do like about Phantoms. In every one of their 18 matches so far, and then including this one, you know, overall, Phantoms, even in games where they're winning by a lot, they don't really get loose or lax. They play with the same kind of fundamental ideas. They always prioritize the passing as Al Pacino gets a nice save, but the Torin rebound off the stun will get them the goal, 7-3. But yes, that's what I'm saying about Phantoms. It's just even when they're ahead by a bunch, they still play generally the same way. Whether they're down by 5 or they're ahead by 15, they're always looking for the extra pass, it would seem. And so when you can approach games and play it with the same game plan kind of every time and really not stray away from it, that's how you develop that consistent play and how you ultimately keep it together when things look bad or when things look good. You know, even keeled over there, trying to deal a goal. Viatrex with a rebound, trying to pass it off to the side, but good stun here from Sundance now, and Sundance causing a turnover, playing some nice defense. And there goes the stacks. Back first is Gravity, going for an immediate clear. Will actually squeeze right through the defense, so that's going to roll very close to the goal. Al Pacino should be there for the collection, it looks like. And we'll have some options, but not a lot of time. So gets stunned out by Maddie this time. Sundance, the clear. So there goes both of the stacks overshooting. Boosting into the goal. Simon inside of it, and Niliwick just trying to take it, and a 9-3 advantage now for Phantoms.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Zuck's pointing out on the earlier play, I think, where Phantoms were just passing between each other. And yeah, it's I like that. Because again, you drag the defense out of the bubble because they're both out here in the mid lane, right? And you know, if you try throwing all those passes and have all that patient play just inside in the bubble, it's usually a lot more claustrophobic. So I do like it. You know, they dragged out 1 or 2 defenders. Therefore, once they did finally kind of break past the defense, they got themselves a nice number situation inside the goal. That said, Gravity trying to do kind of the same thing there, but unable to really convert on it. And into the midline it goes. There's Nillywick. He's been hot. That shot a bit too far to the right. Looking to rebound it, however. Self-rebound. And the points. Oh, the defense just getting back there, but unable to make the grab. And Phantoms really starting to pull away. 3:20 left, and it's 12-3. At this juncture back in round 2, Phantoms had scored 16 points, I do believe. It was something like, it was 16-4, I want to say, at the 3:30 mark of round 2. So round 3, kind of keeping a somewhat similar pace, little lower scoring, but not by too much. And Phantoms taking it here now. Maddie dishing it over to the other side. Nillywick backs that out and tries to find the bounce, but a turnover. Now, if Team Gravity can get a 3-point play here, that will be huge for them, but unable to, as Lewis tries to collect it on the other side. 2:40 left. Phantoms starting to maybe pull ahead here for the win, especially off another stun from Nillywick this time. A lot of the times it's been Sundance doing the dirty work on the brawls, but oh, there he is on that note. So Maddie and Torin. And over there will be taken to Sundance. And over to the midline. And pass and play to Nillywick as another good shot from Nilly. A beautiful job. Ghetto saying, "Where's the match? All I see is no match. Good job, Phantoms." I mean, Gravity had a great first round, but 15-3. Phantoms kind of steamrolling in round 3, so I just calling it as I see it. And at the moment, Team Gravity really just struggling to break through that Phantoms defense. Definitely never shy to give compliments to Team Gravity, one of my favorite teams and players, and just over the years had many battles with them as well when I was playing competitively. It's just a matter of right now, Phantoms showing why they have the record that they do and why they'll remain undefeated on this season, whereas Team Gravity getting stunned again here from Viatrex. So unable to really convert on too much, again, off of some tight defense. And yeah, Team Gravity getting back here. Lewis with a stack, but unable to get back again and back into the side wall. But yeah, absolutely no shade being thrown at Team Gravity because they are a supremely talented team, without a doubt. Hence, the fact that they won the preseason championships over the Phantoms, who were named Backlash at the time. And yeah, I mean, they've done it before. They've upset them before. They've won before, multi-time finalists. But Phantoms just kind of on another level tonight after that dominant first round, or second round from them, and that shot will go in. Is that the story of the game or what? Just everything going in the favor of Phantoms. 18-3.
11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
So 30 seconds left, and undefeated they shall remain. 19-0.
Have cleared the launch.
Team Gravity, one more rollout here, maybe a chance at the offense. There's a passing play over to Lewis. Lewis backing it out, but unable to collect that disc. So over here, we'll go to the opposite side for one more. Maybe shot from Torin, and there's a score. 20-3. Just a few extra jukes.
And the round comes to a close. Blue walks
So yeah, 20-3. Between rounds 2 and 3, I mean, what a adjustment that Phantoms made to really just claim the game. It looked like they were bleeding. It looked like Team Gravity, after that first round, they were going to have it most definitely in the bag with the momentum and all the, not to mention all the pressure. I talked about that. Anytime you have a team where you go undefeated for so long, I mean, the longer it goes on, the more staunchly people are supporting the loss to happen. You know, people want to see those losses. They want to see the undefeated records get broken, you know, those historical things. And but, you know, Phantoms denying the teams, or denying all the viewers what they wanted with just some impressive play there. So congrats to them. Team Gravity, they'll go one-on-one at the week, assuming they don't have any challenge matches scheduled for the rest of the week. And they'll come through with, yeah, what was just a very nice game. I mean, Nilly, humongous game with 26 points. And then 13 apiece for Torin and Sundance. Had Maddie with a couple of assists and saves, and then for Team Gravity it was 10 points to Simon, 8 points to Al Pacino, 3 for Lewis, and 5 for Viatrex. But yeah, that will conclude that particular match. Now, that said, do have another game. I'm not quite sure. Let's see. Because it was scheduled to start about 11 minutes ago. I'm hoping they waited. If they didn't, we'll have to figure that out. I'm trying to see if I have an invite now, so may head to an intermission, let's see, shortly. And yes, okay, so I did get an invite. All right, so give me just a few moments, and we'll head off to the next match here, which is between Vertigo and Watchin' Weebs. So I'll leave it on the score screen and the highlight screen for you for the moment, and yeah, be right back. All right, hello, welcome back everybody to the stream. We got ourselves a game between Vertigo and Watchin' Weebs about to get underway here. So everyone, thanks for joining us here throughout the afternoon. This is our third of 4 European matches. Pre-game crash. Hold on, might be getting a restart. I can only assume. Looks like that's the case.
Hello? Maybe that's press restart because Demis dropped. Press restart because Demis dropped.
But
Restart? Alright.
yeah, I don't know how the rules go with. I don't know how the rules go when
What's going on?
we haven't gone out of the tunnels yet.
Let's restart.
Huh?
Because if we got out of the tunnels, then you could have scored, and then it would have been restarted. But
Okay.
All right, so mute him for a second just to clarify that. So, yeah, it occurred, the crash had occurred before the game had started, and assuming the restart button was pressed, which it sounds like it was, I mean, everyone was sticking there inside the spawn zone, so I can only imagine that they did press restart. Maybe Watchin' Weebs didn't press it initially, didn't hear the restart ding go under effect. That was actually a thing last week with the Watchin' Weebs and Gecko game. They're just, newer teams to competitive play, so they didn't understand the whole restart situation, things like that. But yes, so crash happens, after a goal and while people are still in spawn, and you do get that restart. then it's all good. Both teams press it. You reset from whatever time and score it was, and so on. But that said, obviously 10 minutes on the clock, no scores. It was right at the beginning, so hopefully no harm done. False alarm. We're back in the game though for this hopefully real start to round 1. Here we go.
11, 10, 9,
All right.
8,
So
6.
no more false alarm. Here we go, ladies and gents. All right. So Vertigo and Watchin' Weebs going for that launch. First taken. Side panel. Hamster Bull and Bad Elmo are there being stunned out by Damus. Sanchez there too.
I got shoot. Fuck. My head.
Both teams losing it off their heads a little bit, but Kai and Twang going for the clear. Now Hamster and Cryptic trying to get back on the defense. Dave Stan as well is playing way back there. Off that bounce on the wall. Taken back by, looks like Twang. Twang has an open goal. Couldn't find the shot. So taken back here by Watchin' Weebs. So passing coming through. Oh yeah, and you know what? I forgot. Let me mute the player because I forgot they do the Stanch with a shot. the public comms. I always forget that. Depends on the players. Some of them do just the open comms. And they mute each other, the teams. So usually I like leaving the comms unmuted. You know, when it's just, you can get those like post-goal celebrations or shouts, laughs, things like that. But since they're doing like their full comms, just an open, then I guess I'll mute it for now. But yes, so it will be a shot taken by Kai. 5 points. You know, I still didn't find out whether it's actually Kai or Q, or I was being trolled. Someone told me that last week. I mean, I don't not believe it, but I also don't want to be wrong twice, you know? So, I don't know. Either or. Good shot there for the 5th point, and a steal for Sanch. So Sanch going to line that up from the anchored nest. And, well, you know the rest. 8 points for Vertigo. Watchin' Weebs gonna go back on defense here, lining up in the tunnel. And see what they pull off here for the offensive joust. Lost there in the back line to the defense, or to the front line to the defense, I should say, as Hamster Bull rolls out. Gets a pass over to the tunnel, so Cryptic will be pressured pretty hard there by Kai, and Twang pants the turnover again, so it's a yet again for Vertigo, causing these turnovers by just their intense defense off these jousts. Kai coming in from up high and winds it in, but dings it off the post. Will be taken right back by Bad Elmo. So yeah, these for Watchin' Weebs at the moment, just needing to get right back into the mix. Maybe I mean it's tough because the defense here being a lot of high pressure defense being played. And meanwhile, though, you know the stacks from Vertigo can be very fast at times, and so it's tough. You know, do you clear it? Do you go for the short pass? Do you go for the clear and boost? I mean, a lot of that's just predicated on kind of roster. You know, what's your situation? As another ding dunk there, just missing, but a rebound will go. Damus gently off the backboard. A very nice hit from him. Back was facing the goal, so instead of taking maybe a difficult behind the back fling, just sent it off the backboard. So good recognition from Damus. But yeah, for Watchin' Weebs, it's just kind of a catch-22. You know, do you go for these passes on your own side of the floor, despite the fact that you're being pressured? Not this time, actually, as much. I take it back. There they go. That was a delayed boost. I was going to say, not as quickly on the defensive recovery for the stack, but eventually Kai and Twang joining them up in front, and maybe the delay was on purpose. You do see some teams pulling that off just to throw off the rhythm. But either or, going in for another backboarded play. Kai gets it 2 points and 12 overall in this first round. They're already starting to pile them on here. Only 4 minutes in. I mean, yeah, strong scoring off of some good defense. You know, Vertigo here going to be the favorites with a 16 on the connoisseur vote. 2-0. And really just, again, going back to the fact that Watchin' Weebs, they do have some victories under their belt as that shot just dings off as well. But they are the newer team. Vertigo's been at it all season long. and in the preseason as well. So they've definitely got just the experience and the chemistry much more on their side. And, you know, as always, we definitely encourage as many teams as possible, especially over in Europe. You know, the more teams, even if you're brand new and don't play Echo Arena too much and you just want to play it casually, the more casual teams, the more new teams that you get into the mix, the closer the matches are going to be because of the ladder system. And Hamster, he's going to climb the ladder up from below, and nice assist to Kripik as well. That's a first shot for Watchin' Weebs. Good pass. But yeah, in North America, you've seen a lot of new teams coming into the mix. And there's been a lot of good matches as a result. You know, they're all facing each other. So even at the bronze level, silver level, I mean, all the matches with those 30-some teams in North America all match up against each other. Not all of them, you know, are master tier or high tier or take it super seriously per se. Some of them just kind of, they treat it a little bit like a, you know, for fun, a weekly like bowling league type situation. And you know, other teams are looking to be serious about it, but they still don't have the experience under their belts. So what do? They come in and work on that chemistry, and then we've seen 3 or 4 different teams, I know in that bronze division, that now find themselves in silver or approaching silver because they've just really built up the chemistry over time. Going for some nice juke moves, it's Kai just kind of pouncing and bouncing off the wall, off the pole, and into the goal. So good move there. 14-2 now for Vertigo. Still in this first round. Now, following this match, we also do have Phantoms one more time versus Smash Dash. So be on the lookout for that. As Watching Weaves try to roll out here to get the midline pass. But another defensive cutoff, an open 3. That's the only thing Vertigo is not really converting on, is some of these open shots and a few dings for them. But it's okay because their positioning is very, very good. And they're getting a lot of rebounds just like that. You can see the good punch coming in from Watchin' Weebs. But Twang Pants and Vertigo are still able to score. That's the benefit you gain when you have players positioned out on every side, right, left, and center. So even when some shots miss or some passes miss, you'll have a man positioned at every possible area to hopefully get the rebound and go right back at the offense. So Kripik with a good soft pass and just trying to collect it off the wall is Dave, but gets punched out. Could have been an open goal for him, but good cutoff from Vertigo. Vertigo going for that clear, going for a almost boost, but Kripik doing a very nice job to cut it off. However, rebound into the open backboard shot from Damus. That's at least the second time that Damus has gone softly off the bottom of the backboard. And both times, they've resulted in 2 points. So well done to Damus, and 18-2 for Vertigo. See, Ubun with the poggers in the chat. Hello and welcome. So Kripik rolling out. Finally, Watchin' Weaves managed to get it to the front line, get it to this side of the floor. They've been struggling with that a lot because of Vertigo and their very nice defense in that mid area. So good passing game from Watchin' Weaves. That's what I noticed from them when they're playing against Team Gecko, and it gets them the shot. Let's go. Team Watchin' Weaves, Dave to Kripik. I was going to say, between Team Gecko and Watchin' Weaves, I mentioned it in the last stream, and we've seen it last week, where Watchin' Weaves had those 3 matches against Team Gecko last week. One of them a challenge match, 2 of them scheduled, and ultimately, Watchin' Weaves came through with the 2-1 record after last week. And that was a very nice set of games for them, and they were really passing quite well for a new team. But there it goes again. So 6 points. Kripik now on that shot off a good boost. So despite the fact that the game in the first round may be a bit out of hand to come back from, still not giving up, sticking together, quite literally on the stacks, and they're getting some nice goals off of it. So 18-6. And Watching Weaves definitely showing why they won those 2 matches last week. You know, they may be a little less experienced compared to Vertigo, but they still have a good head for the teamwork. You know, they know what they should be doing. And you like to see it. So over time, it's just going to be a matter of chemistry and mechanics. But there, with a good chemistry on the pass, Sanshtakai and 20 points for Vertigo.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
All right, so last time around, Watching Weebs was able to get their joust working for them to go outside of this half of the floor. That time, not same results, a little bit more of what we saw early on, so tough turnover, turning into an anchored 3, but another one of those dings. But as I say that, you know, a lot of these misses from Vertigo, they're followed by rebounds a lot of the time. That time, actually, it was a bad Elmo with a very nice contest, brawling out Twang Pants, but couldn't find the goal. And as this first round comes to a conclusion, will be Vertigo 20-6. All right, so we'll head to the highlights for you and take a look at name of the game. Again, just really a lot of that possession time, the shots taken. I mean, rebounds, things like that, because there were a few misses in there, but Vertigo not giving up on the play and playing out quite well for them. As a result, I mean, 13 shots taken overall to Watching Weebs' 4. So that being said, I mean, Vertigo basically benefiting off the volume. Oop, realizing that the stats weren't showing there. My apologies. There you go. But Vertigo benefiting off of the volume of shots. Meanwhile, Watching Weebs, the accuracy. You know, lower amount of shots, but all of the chances that they did have to make a shot, they did. So full credit to them, no doubt. But yeah, other than that, high score going to Kai and 9 points. Sanch with 5, Twang with 2, and Damus with 4. You also got a pair of assists for Sanch and Twang Pants, which is quite nice for them. And easily leading the stun department, 20 for Sanch. Over on Watching Weebs' side, an assist for Dave. Bad Elmo, 2 saves, 10 stuns. Hamster, 2 points, 3 stuns. And Cryptic with 4 points, 1 assist, and 9 stuns as we head off into this second round launch. All right, so round 2, there's a second stack from the back. You see that quite a bit here from a lot of these European teams. And again, I just mention it because I do like seeing it. Some of it is slowly starting to seep into North America. Some of these unique jousts that I do see in Europe over time. Definitely there's a few teams in North America who employ some very clever rollouts. But on the whole, I feel like almost every team in Europe has some sort of neutral joust rollout, or even just rollouts in general on jousts that I don't see very often on the other side of the pond. So it's a very unique style that I like seeing. And you know, I mentioned it just 1 to give them credit, but 2 so I can hopefully start seeing it on North America's side more, because yeah, it's fun to watch those creative rollouts. But in any case, Twang Pants takes this disc over here on the side wall. Damus as well. They're gonna space out. Twang going for the pass. Defense here for Watching Weebs taking place. But Kai just finding the shot right underneath the mitts and right by the feet. So good hit again. Another assist too to Damus.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
So first pair of points going favor to Vertigo. Launching out is Hamster. Hamster, a good pass over here. Another nice pass. So C4, Watching Weebs, when they do manage to get through, they have some set rollout plays. They've been denied a few times by by Vertigo. But look at that. I mean, that is some incredible passing for a young team in terms of experience levels. They do lose it eventually to Kai off that defense, but I mean, that was seemingly 5-6 passes stringed all together in a row with precision through a lot of geo and a lot of traffic. And through the traffic, though, Damus gets the goal for Vertigo. So again, great passing and fundamentals there from Vertigo, but Watching Weebs, you know, they're making the right moves. They're looking for the right passing plays. That just comes down to experience and also variety. So those things come with time and practice, of course. But, I mean, I like it. They are definitely not slouching whatsoever on these rollouts. So back passing there to Hamster. But taking a tough bounce off that double at mid, that double geo. And right back now, Twang Pants, 2 defenders inside the goal, Dave and Kripik. Twang's going to roll in there with a cross pass beautifully. And another score here, 8 points for Vertigo. But they're getting a lot of these goals just right down the middle off of some of these cross passes. So I think for watching Weebs, what you want to do, being that they're taking so many of these shots kind of from the same general areas, I always encourage teams to cover the barrier. I'll always leave a defender in this area, barrier or nest, because if they just have those open passes towards that mid area, they're going to get a lot of goals. There's a shot taken off the backboard, will go in. Kai is on fire right now. 16 points across the 2 rounds. Crazy good game for him so far.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
But yeah, one tip for the defense too is just generally leaving a defender around barrier or nest to contest any passes. And secondly, if you're on goal, if you're the goalie as this turnover goes through and rebounded, but if you're the goalie and there's a pass that does go to the corners or directly above, directly below, in other words, if a pass goes to an angle where it would be tough to shoot from, try diving out at that pass well before it gets to the person, to the receiver. Now, oh, look, talk about receiver, Hamsterville. Great save on that goal. And Bad Elmo, the recovery. So Kai takes the disc, will drive it in, has an option. There's Twang. You see what I mean? He's playing that bow tie, or playing that nest and barrier area. And same thing. It's just their bread and butter right now. So if you just leave someone up open right there, they're going to get those easy drives every time. Over there, Kai, is he going to do it again? Ding, finally missing a shot after all those shots in a row, it seemed like, hitting everything. And David taking it away. A pass over to the bow tie, Sanch. One more to Twang. Twang again in his favorite spot, the anchor shot. 13 points for Vertigo. So I do like what watching Weebs are doing on the offense and the passing that they're looking for. But yeah, just defensively, someone needing to recognize that the goal, all these goals are being conceded over and over to someone right in this general area, just being kind of undefended. And again, that if you get passes towards the barrier, to the nest, or to the backboard, those are like the 3 highest percentage shots, because you have, as Sanch gets another shot, wow. But as you have just a multitude of angles to shoot from on the goalie, right? You can paint every single corner if you're approaching from here. And that's what makes it a high percentage shot, if you get those players driving in from this area. Meanwhile, if you shoot it from here, force the defense to try and shoot it from out here, the angle is much, much tighter. And therefore, much more likely that they miss or that your goalie saves the disc. So it's kind of 2 different benefits from forcing teams to shoot from those corners. But, of course, easier said than done. I mean, defense is an incredible hard thing to learn because it is so team dependent and it's so positioning dependent. It's less obvious, I suppose, than offense, where offense it's tough, but it's cut and dry, where you just have you hit a open man for a pass, you get a goal. For defense, there's a lot more nuance in there and a lot more positioning required, because if you lose it on defense, all it takes is one man on defense losing their defender, and then it's kind of game over a lot of the time because of the numbers advantages that you get off of those. So it's very tough. Nonetheless, a good handoff from Damus to Kai, and gets another pair of points. Fantastic chemistry being shown in this series from Vertigo. And again, the cut coming from that same area, right down the middle, kind of uncontested. So watching Weebs trying to stave off the Mercy as they launch out here. Again, they had that 2-1 record going into this week after 2 wins last week against Team Gecko. But the experience from Vertigo just going to play and pay off as one more backboard shot goes in. And it does end this series. Sanch, the game ender. So 20-0. And a strong 2 rounds here for Vertigo. Tough loss for watching Weebs, but again, just given the differential in play time at the competitive level, yeah, Vertigo just kind of coming through with that chemistry. Watching Weebs, they had some very, very nice passing chemistry on offense and some of those rollouts, and once they got into the orange side, they definitely had some fantastic looking passing plays that got them some nice opportune goals, but they're just not really able to accommodate for that heavy passing to the nest and barrier for Vertigo. Only the difference maker there, really. So just a matter of time. Watching Weaves will now fall to 2-2 record-wise. Or, sorry, incorrect. I'm just thinking from last week. 2-4 overall. 2-2 in their last 4 matches, however. But still, very respectable for a newer to comp team. Meanwhile, for Vertigo, it's going to be a 10-9 record, so that's going to be nice for them. They're finally, after kind of working their way back up, they're right here with one more win than loss on the season. So past that 500 mark, let's see if they can continue that going into the last few weeks of this season. Big games, though, no doubt, especially there from Kai, 18, and Sanch with 12. Also had Twang Pants with 4 points and 6 assists, doing a lot of passing again. Damus with 6 points, 2 assists, and 14 stuns. Over for Watchin' Weaves, it was Kripik with 4 points, 1 assist, 13 stuns. Hamster with 2 points, 1 save, and 8 stuns. Bad Elmo had 2 saves, 13 stuns, and then Dave with 1 assist, 1 save, and 8 stuns. And yeah, Boop pointing out in the Twitch chat, kind of reiterating exactly that. The Watching Weaves, they had some nice moves, but they just need some time. They are newer. Vertigo, they've been at this for a little while. All these players, they played comp before. They've been playing all season long, and in preseason as well. They were playing for them. So really, it's just the idea of coming together, with a kind of as a collective team. That the chemistry, getting that all aligned. The passing play was there for Watchin' Weaves, but just kind of the variety in rollouts, some of the defensive assignments kind of getting a little bit lost there. And that's just purely because of the newness is all. So definitely nothing to fret over or be upset about if you're watching Weaves, because they still got some good future to burn ahead as they learn to play the meta of sorts. I mean, look at all these teams here in Season 1 who played in the preseason. It took them all of preseason to really learn the meta. You've definitely seen a big shift from Week 1 of preseason to Week 8 of preseason to Week 9 of Season 1. There's just been a very progressive shift as a lot of players having to kind of relearn exactly what they want to do meta-wise. And yeah, so just a matter of time. Anyway, I'm going to leave you here with one more match. I'm going to leave you on the score screen, the highlight screen, as I kind of input and adjust for the rest of the pre-game setup and whatnot. So don't mind me. I'll be silent for a few. But next and last for the European side of things, we'll have Phantoms and Smash Dash scheduled to start in approximately 6 minutes from now. So be right back. welcome back, ladies and gents, to the game. We've got our final match of the European side of things tonight. It's Phantoms versus Smash Dash. This is not the first time we've seen Phantoms today, or even in the last hour or so. We had that Team Gravity versus Phantoms match, and it was quite the interesting one, to say the least, because Team Gravity, coming back here after a bit of a break, had a successful return last week, and then against Phantoms, had a nice win in the first round. If I recall correctly, it was 16-13, I want to say. And following that, Phantoms just kind of went into I don't even know, just went into a different plane of existence, and suddenly everything was going right for them. And they had a pretty dominant win. I mean, it was almost a mercy at some point in round 2. And then round 3 was kind of similar, just completing the reverse sweep. And definitely people continuing to cheer on the Phantoms' first defeat whenever and wherever that comes from. Smash Dash coming in here trying to cause the upset. Maybe finish the job. Phantoms have lost 1 round today already. If Smash Dash can maybe wear them out a little bit more, and we'll see what happens. But as I mentioned towards the end of that particular match, kind of the dangers of Phantoms is just the fact that no matter at what juncture you are in the game, whether it's the first minute out of 30 or the last minute, or whether they're down 5 or up 10, they seem to play pretty much the same all the time. It's a very mentally, I guess, engaged team that just they keep the same kind of focus level of play. They don't get too aggressive nor too complacent. It's just a very nice pace that Phantoms always play at, and I think that is, as much as anything, kind of what gets them the success that they have. One of the many things, I suppose, but yeah, that's kind of not too different from the philosophy that I had when I'd play and my teams would have when they'd play. We get more hype for big matches, granted. We get pretty loud, but I mean, as far as the play style, we'd actively discourage dumb shots being taken or just unnecessary ones, right? Like if we ever got lax, we would always try to straighten it up and just play with the same kind of force and mentality, I suppose. And so that's kind of the dangers, I think. But that said, we got the round 1 about to start now, so here we go, launching off. It's Phantoms over on the orange side. It's Smash Dash on blue, rocking with Sendo Target, Slin, Street Boot, and Dage. For Phantoms, of course, it's Nillywick, Maddie, Nillywick, Torin, and Sundance. But there's Slin here first. A great pass up top, but cut off by Sundance right on the nest, just as he was diving out. So Sundance takes the pass, makes the pass to Maddie. Maddie getting stunned out. And Smash Dash looking good to start here. They're causing some trouble already. There's the stacks getting back, but Sendo being patient with it, not getting rid of it too early. That said, maybe at that point got rid of it too fast on the actual pass itself. But a much nicer one gets to Sendo, but look at that cutoff from Maddie. So I kind of mentioned in that last match that we just saw watching Weeb's Vertigo, I was mentioning how teams definitely like to cut off that barrier, that nest area as that shot goes off. And you can see it there twice in a row from Phantoms. Both times they had a defender right ready to just pounce on whoever got that pass over in that area. And that's bought them some good opportunities, just like the shot. Nillywick going for the... I don't know, we need a name for that, because that's like patented Nillywick shot at this point, where he goes... He rolls into the goal, and I know that time it was kind of one-on-one, but he does this very, very often where he'll just kind of fake out the defenders by rolling in, and he'll look away in some random direction. Doesn't even have to be a teammate there, but he'll do this look away and then shoot it as he's looking the opposite direction, basically. And it takes the goalies off guard so many times. I mean, he's gotten, I don't know how many extra points he's probably gotten based off that. That said, Smash Dash here. Good job by Slin, brawling, contesting, and sending it to the center. But Torin right back at them from the bottom. And that'll roll pretty close, but Street Boo is well positioned in the area, not wanting to concede a 3. Maybe he saw the Team Gravity and Phantoms game a little earlier on. In the first round, it was a lot of open shots, including 3s being conceded by Phantom, so Team Gravity was getting a ton of points off of those open goals. And then in the next couple rounds, it was the opposite, going there for the Steez play. There's Nilly Wick. That's sort of. I don't know if I should call it that or not. I mean, the hesitation on that dunk. It's kind of tough to tell from my angle if it was actually necessary. I'll look at the replay real quick. Okay, yeah, I mean, it was efficient. It was good. Trying not to throw it into the hands of the goalie. So looked like he kind of faked to go around for the back dunk, and then instead he reversed himself and went with the forward-facing dunk instead. So, again, he's a very crafty player in the goal. As Slyn, he's a very good shot at the goal. That said, that first one will miss. Kind of uncommon for Slyn. He's just been a great striker for his team. Right there, almost trying to strike on the goal, but Torrent striking him down instead with a good save. So gets the clear off to the other side. There's a stack from both teams. First to the disc is barely Street Boo. Street Boo, a nice pass to Slyn. Slyn gets rid of it quickly. And in the tunnel, again, having to get rid of it quickly is Dage because of Maddie and the defense there playing back. Oh, mishandled though. So Dage comes around with it. Looks for the passing play. Number situation. Oh, and the goal somehow. So off of Sundance, he'll get the goal. It's 4-3 though. Still, Phantom's ahead at the Joust advantage. Now that was kind of unexpected. I thought at the very least it might be saved, but you saw the defender there was still kind of fading back, so couldn't really get his feet behind him, I guess. So Sundance here takes it up for the offense. They'll go on the Joust. I mean, ultimately, no harm done. 6 minutes left and up ahead by 1. They can make up for it with another play here. Smash Dash still, they're playing very well. They're playing very aggressively on the defense, and I think that's a very good thing to employ against Phantoms. Not that they haven't had success against it, but still, anytime you can force Phantoms to make their passes in the midfield as opposed to, you know, deeper, close to that bubble, it's a good thing. I like to say. I mean, usually I would have... It goes back to yesterday. We're talking about how a lot of the times offenses will purposely bait out defenders out of the bubble to get the numbers opportunity. And more often than not, I mean, in the vast majority of cases, as the shot goes saved, actually, by Street Boo. A great grab there. A fantastic defense from him, and he's been defending like that all season long as well as preseason. Just a strong defender going in for the shot. Also a bit off, but maybe a chance. No, at the rebound, instead going to Torren. But I mentioned that against most teams, if you have like defenders dragged outside of the goal, that's usually in the advantage of the offense, getting the number situation. Against Phantoms, it's a little bit trickier because they are so good at passing as it is. Anytime they're in the bubble, it's almost guaranteed goals, to be honest. And the only time I've seen Phantoms slightly struggle with their offense is when they're forced to make the passes outside. The thing about playing the defense in the back line, however, is that all it takes is one defender playing outside the bubble to lose his man, as a Slyn goes for a potential shot, but Sundance putting a stop to it. But mid-lane defense, when you're playing that zone or man-on-man, all it takes is one single defender to lose his man, and you're probably going to be scored on, because then the defense gets off balance, you have the numbers opportunity, the passes, and then the easier goal. So it's very, very difficult, and that shot, not a difficult save for Torren as it goes softly off the backboard. The defense at play right now, quite impressive, going in for the shots, also impressive, 7-3 for Phantoms. So yes, for 90% of teams, I would say it's very, very tough playing man-to-man defense in the midline. But against certain teams, you gotta chance it more. And then again, there are also certain teams that just actually do it well. But again, it requires an awful lot of trust in your teammates and very, very good rotations or collections on boosts to get back should you lose your man. So it's a very tricky thing, and it's harder to learn compared to just, say, straight up bubble defense where all 3 or 4 of your players are all in the bubble just kind of baiting out and waiting for the offense to bring it in. So it's Nillywick gets a 2 here off an open goal, but it's one of those kind of judgment calls. It really depends on your roster and also who you're facing against, what kind of defense you do employ. But anyway, getting away from that now. Boop saying a little bit ago, Smash needs to stop trying to clear when Phantoms is a stack ready to chase. It's very, very tough for Phantoms. The thing is, they run that double stack so often too, so sometimes players think you know, they got the pass through, or they got the clear through that first stack, and oh yeah, we're home free. But then suddenly that second stack from Phantoms comes along and just destroys it, destroys all your hopes at a goal. So it's very tough. With Slin here, good pass to Dage, quickly on the triangle play, but doesn't get that pass there. So Nillywick receives it, and will have a little bit of time to line up a pass up high. Sundance comes away with it, gives a little twirl, but loses the disc to the nice defense again from Slin and Dage. So Slin with the punches. I mentioned Slin's striking ability, but honestly, he is just a huge filler of stats when it comes to the brawls as well. I mean, he punches just about more than anyone. Maybe going back to that Season 1 interview. All we got to do is punch more, and Maddie makes a shot there, assisted by Sundance. That was a great look. But yes, Slin back in the day in an interview saying, all we got to do is punch more, or I'm paraphrasing. And he's pretty much done nothing but punch more ever since that day for the last 2 years. So he took his own advice for sure, because it's not uncommon to see Slin usually with the max, or the most stuns in his matches over the course of Season 1. He'll pile them on heavily. So there comes some more stuns. Mid lane taken here. There's Slin with the stuns again. Off into the smash dash bubble. Maddie has a disc looking for the pass, but cut off nicely. And Sendo target trying to get a clear after that stun. But you saw Phantoms were trying to go for that cross-passing play, but there were, I mean, 3 different defenders all kind of looking for it and cutting off the lanes. So really had nowhere to go, and that was very nice defense from Smash Dash. And now that said, Nillywick going for a deep shot, barely off. The rebound being stunned out, Torin, but a redirect from Sundance, anchor down, goes down, and Street Boo, a fantastic grab, denying, rejecting, and off to the other side. That was a great play defensively after what was some really nice moves from Sundance. And off this shot will be rebounded by Torin. I talk about that positioning. There it goes, paying dividends. Up to the nest, up to the corner, and into the goal. Finally breaking through that defense. The Smash Dash doing a really excellent job in the midfield as well as inside the goal. It's the offense that's not going for them at the moment. But, I mean, Phantoms are really needing to work extremely hard for their shots. I mean, 14 points off 11 shots. Not the efficiency that maybe you'd be used to from Phantoms once they get inside that 2-point zone. So Smash Dash doing a very good job. Just unfortunately can't get the offense going on the orange side. So as this round comes to a close, it will be 14-3. Maybe changing here. Spoke too soon. Either or. First round victory to Phantoms. As Torin goes for that pass over to Maddie and Nilly. So one more goes. Maybe a last-second heave from deep, but that's not going to go anywhere. And, yeah, 1 round in the books. That'll be 14-3. So 1 moment, and we'll head off to the highlights, take a look at what it has to offer. And, yes, so for the Phantoms, it was Nillywick with 8 points. Continuing to put on some impressive scoring. If I'm not mistaken, it was him who had 20-some against Team Gravity just over an hour ago. But 8 points for him in that first round. 3 for Maddie, 3 for Torin, and then a pair of assists for Sundance, and 17 stuns. For Smash Dash, it was 2 points. I'm not sure who the 2 points went to because it was a headbutt. Or it went deflected off the body and went in, so it was a self-goal towards Phantoms. So I can't remember who shot that, unfortunately. But nonetheless, you do have Slin with 1 save, 28 stuns, leading the way predictably in the stuns. Street Boo with 3 saves, a couple very nice ones inside the goal. And Sendo with a steal and 7 stuns, Dage with 15. Boop saying best interview, referring to that Slin one. Still agreed, yeah. There's been a few good ones, but I suppose that's top 1 correct. All right, round 2 about to start. So Nillywick gets there first, slings it off, and immediately looks for that stack, and they get there with some efficiency. So there's Nilly with a disc, backs that out to Maddie. Maddie going forward to Sundance, and back to the bow tie here, Maddie. So just corner-to-corner play in this rectangle formation. Maybe losing out on that one a little bit, but still rebounding. And then one shot taken out by Sendo this time. Good grab, diving in at what looked like might have been an open goal. And now getting the shot is Slin off of some great boosting too. Nillywick in disbelief as he just narrowly missed the save. So nice play there for Smash Dash to be first on the board.
8, 7, 6, 5.
Just going back to that dive-in save. Maybe Sendo even baiting that out a little bit. You do see that sometimes. Goalies purposely playing a little bit behind the goal or just a little bit outside, but then trusting that they'll be able to kind of dive in and save it the last second. So it looked like it could have been the case. Another one of those high-level nuances that you see these players developing over time. As a great pass, but not finding the shot is Nilly, but still Sundance recovering, and Street Boo instead gets the turnover. So there's a boost, and now Smash Dash a chance at another score. Slin, 3 more. 5 for Smash Dash all in all.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
And yeah, see, that's what I mean though. For Phantoms, it's just they have the good positioning that enables them the rebounds. So even when they make mistakes, they get the rebounds. But
Cleared the launcher.
unlike that we've seen in other games, Smash Dash is just playing so aggressively on the defense, and those brawls are bothering them so badly that it seems like, yeah, they're not quite getting the shots with the same efficiency as they're used to. Now they had a good high-scoring first round, relatively speaking. As a good pass goes to Torrent from Nilly, so there's that efficiency there. But as I said, on the whole, I mean, when you have 14 points in the first round and then 2 points in the second round for Phantom, so 16 points off of 15 shots. I mean, that's a telltale sign that Smash Dash is making Phantoms work an awful lot for each pair of points that they're getting. They're not getting these shots on their first attempts a lot of times. It's taking 2 or 3 attempts. So very nicely done from Smash Dash. But that said, Phantoms are about to come back here, trying to work it in for another 2-point play as Torrent swings around like a pendulum, it looked like. And finally, off of a few swings, got the goal. Still a 1-point lead for Smash, though.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
And Rocktor pointing out Smash doesn't even have a bubble defense. They challenge so far out. Yep, they definitely do. And as I said, it's kind of a unique situation. Normally not something that pays off for defenses as much. But with that pass, weird interaction, doesn't matter. It's a great grab from Dej. Looked like it disappeared there a little bit, but it got it. And yeah, just another turnover, maybe turning into a shot. Will not go through. But that defense at play. But like I said, normally it's a difficult thing. You wouldn't recommend playing that far out for most teams on defense. But against Phantoms, that's kind of the one place where if you can force them to pass outside, I mean, you have just as good of a chance as anything. There you go, Street Boo, another save. Oh, has he been fantastic today inside the goal or what?
Catches the enemy pass.
So many saves on the shots, but it's those second attempts. Street Boo. Did I say Sendo? I meant Street Boo. Sendo did have a nice save earlier on as well, though. But anyway, yeah, yeah, Dej had that other save. Just all of them playing some goalkeeping tonight. Street Boo, kind of the more commonly found goalkeeper. But, yeah. But that's the thing. So as I go in here for Sundance rolling in, Rocktor saying I disagree. They're just getting passed around in bubble. Well, that's the thing, though. With Phantoms against every team so far, it doesn't matter if it's 4v4 in the bubble, they almost always get their passes off against most teams. It's still, bubble defense, bubble offense, it's still, it's typically good to have 4 defenders in the bubble. I'm just saying against Phantoms specifically, they're 19-0, and all season long, it doesn't matter if teams are playing inside. They are getting so many passes with so much precision, even with 4 defenders in the bubble. The one time I've seen them struggle, because I've casted just about every single Phantoms match, the one time Phantoms does struggle is, in fact, when teams play up in the midline. So I say that for a reason. Most teams, I would not recommend it. Against Phantoms, we saw it with Vertigo a couple times in both the games that Vertigo played, that every time Phantoms is forced to play outside more, the games are closer, and that's verifiable. But here it goes, 10-5, Phantoms pulling ahead a bit.
12, 11, 10,
Yeah, well, again, I don't disagree, Rocktor, in most situations. I'm just saying specifically with this team because it's observable and it's provable that you know, their success is still incredibly high. Granted, against Smash Dash, their goalkeeping has been good enough that maybe the bubble defense is better. But I'm just saying, on the whole, the only time I've seen Phantom struggle, whether it was against Vertigo twice, whether it was against Team Gravity twice, where they have rounds that they almost lost, it was because they were being played up on aggressively outside the bubble. Just the truth. Anyways, over here it goes to the top of the ceiling, taken up Sundance. And now taken back by Sendo. So over it goes to the top ramp and taken back by Torin. Although, another note I will make too is just that a lot of the time when they were struggling before, as Sundance goes for another shot, it was also because teams were playing aggressive on them and Phantoms were not making all of their threes. They were shooting not the greatest percentage, maybe 40, 50% of them, probably less at some junctures. That said, over the last 2 weeks, they have picked it up and have been really highly accurate from 3-point range. So it's just a mix. Like I said, that's a thing about Echo and a thing about sports in general. There's so many different ways to play, and there's not one definitive correct way, as we've seen, with every single meta shift that occurs over the seasons. There's some ways that are, statistically more efficient than others, but then sometimes you just get these situationally based things with certain rosters that does demand alternative styles of play. I mean, Team Joker is #1 in the world right now, as Maddie gets the shot off. Team Joker is #1 in the world right now, and they did it by not playing meta for so long. I mean, now they play a lot more meta, but even still, they don't play traditional offense on a lot of their plays. They take bold shots. They take weird angles. They go for those full courts from deep off of all kinds of crazy bounces. They do the Joker train. I mean, like I said, nothing is universal or black and white, really. It's just going to depend, really, team to team, roster to roster. But you can speak in generalities all day, and that'll be it'll apply to most teams. But yeah, like I'm saying, there's specific situations. Anyway, Slin going in for a shot, but that's going to be saved out easily by Torin. Torin, a very good goalkeeper across the seasons, and that's going to be an easier save from him just because of the punch and the low momentum on the disc. Over here goes to Sundance, fades back, and gets the 3 as well. Very nice hit. So really, Phantoms, again, pulling away. Smash Dash had a nice start with a couple of shots from Slin in the first minute or two. He had a 2-pointer, then kind of a breakaway 3-pointer from up top. But since then, Phantoms definitely collecting themselves, playing it slow. And that's the other beautiful part about Echo, I point out, because even though I said in prior weeks that, hey, Phantoms, this is their one minor weakness, this and that, since then they've really fixed it up anyway. So it's all about the adjustments, and Phantoms aren't a team that's been coasting whatsoever. I mean, they're just they've been constant. What can I say? Smash Dash, they've been a great team. They've been piling up some wins as of late, especially once this shot goes off from Nillywick, especially once, though, Team Gravity took their break. I mean, Smash Dash came in strong, and they gladly took that second place position over in Europe with some great wins. So, Smash Dash is not a slouch of a team. They are, every single season, every single year, they are competing right up there, among the top. But, again, Phantoms just kind of adjusting as they do and playing with a kind of constant demeanor as they often do. Rocktor is saying you didn't have any strats until finals day over on Joker. Exactly. So, I don't know. I'm someone who, I'll go into the analysis things here and there, and I'll give various tips or ideas, which are generally a safe things to say. But I'm also not one to deny that metas are only what they are because of the players who made them, basically, right? They change so much, and nothing is ever set in stone because it changes all the time. Even from preseason, the game right now is very, very different than it was 3 months ago, as one more shot goes through actually for Smash Dash. So ending it on a good note there, it's Slin with all 3 of the scores in round 2 for Smash Dash. But nonetheless, it will be the 20-7 victory here at the end of the day. I think that was honestly, just speaking candidly too, that was one of Eclipse's downfalls for sure, is getting too stuck in the idea that something has to be played a certain way and that everything else is incorrect. Not always true. Not always true. You know, we tried making adjustments, and we did later. It went into that last season that we played. But it just took so long to get there because, you know, people, it's easy to get stuck in certain habits or certain mindsets of this is how it has to be because this is how it's always been. But I think doing that, it causes you to have blinders on. And then before you know it, you know, one day you're surpassed by a new generation. And that applies to life, not just Echo Arena, but now I'm getting too philosophical. The point is, things always are changing. And, you know, old people who experience one thing, it's often hard to, I guess, readjust for the new stuff. I don't know. Anyway, rambling now. So stat-wise, it's a 2-round victory for Phantoms. They'll go up 20-0 now. Yep, they're going to continue to roll here, but, I mean, anything could happen. I'm looking forward to what the last couple weeks hold, and especially going into final situations, playoff situations, seeing, you know, potential Phantoms and Team Gravity matchup again. That would be pretty hype, I think. But anyway, 10 points for Nillywick here, high score on, I think, both the Phantoms games today. So nicely done from him. Have 8 points to Maddie, 9 to Torrent, 7 to Sundance. Worthy of note is Sundance's 5 assists. He's been very, very good with the passing game over the course of the seasons as well. Usually he's leading the way for his team in assisting. Then 3 saves for Torrent. Meanwhile, for Smash Dash, it was Sendo with a pair of assists, and that a nice save as well as 21 stuns. Slin with 7 points, 1 save, and then the game high 46 stuns. For Street Boo, it was 1 assist, 4 fantastic saves, and then 13 stuns. And then Dej with 24 stuns, and I'm pretty sure at least 1 save that he wasn't credited for. So, hey. All right, so that will do it for our matches today. That was 4 straight here over in Europe and got all of them casted and streamed. So appreciate the teams for playing and for waiting, watching Weebs and Vertigo for waiting for us to get there a little bit late. But yeah, and for all the viewers who tuned in, also much appreciated as always. I'm going to bring up the schedule for you now. Just to take a look at the matches later, we have 2 of them, at least for North America currently, which is 6 Foot Over and Milk, playing at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Central. In other words, about 5 hours and 45 minutes from now. And then Instinct versus Wireless Jacks to finish it off. So both of those should be some interesting matches, fun matches, I hope, and we'll cast them for sure. All right, so until then, I've been Palidore. This has been VR Master League Week 10. Thank you, everyone. Once again, be happy, be healthy, be safe, and be nice to each other, and we'll see you again just a little bit later. Little bit later. Yes, the lulls are the best. You are late. This is the conclusion of 4 streamed matches in a row. So just a little bit. But that's okay. You got the VODs, and you got some North American games later on tonight. So, yeah. And, Kai is saying thanks for casting. Not a problem. Thanks for playing. Fun games today. All right. Anyway, I'm out. So peace.